I'm going to finish up the problems on the review for the Chapter 10 test. So starting with number 31 on page 3, we're going to solve each equation by taking square roots. So we want to isolate the square by itself. We do that by adding 1 to both sides, which leaves us with 9p squared equals 72. Then we divide both sides by 9. We get p squared equals 8. And then when you take the square root of both sides, you're going to get p equals the square root of 8. You're either going to ask, you could be asked to give that as a decimal, which you just type in your calculator, or you're going to ask to be given as a simplified radical. So you need to get the prime factorization of 8, which is 2 times 2 times 2. So a pair of 2's, one of them comes out in front of the radical, and one left over stays inside the radical. So you just say p is equal to plus or minus 2 square roots of 2. Number 33 says, use the information provided to write the standard form equation of each circle. So on your note card, you should have that standard equation, and it looks like this: x minus h quantity squared plus y minus k quantity squared equals the radius squared. So you need two things. You need the center, which is going to be your hk, and you need the radius. And you're going to plug those three numbers in, and then that will give you the standard equation of this circle. So for this circle right here, the center is right here, and it's at -4, down 1, 2. So at -4, 2. Sorry, -4, -2. And the radius looks like it's 2, but from -4 to -3, it's just 1. So you're going to plug these three numbers in for h, for k, and for r, which will give you x minus -4 and y minus -2 equals 1 squared. So when you go to simplify, if you have minus minus, ends up being x plus 4 quantity squared. Same thing happens here, so it's y plus 2 quantity squared. And then 1 squared is just 1. Number 35 says, use the information provided to write the vertex form equation of each parabola. So the equation for the parabola is y equals a times x minus h squared plus k. So for this form, you need hk again, which is not the center, but this time it's the vertex. And in this case, the vertex is right here, which is at 6, down 4, so it's at 6, -4. You also want to note that this parabola opens down. When it opens down, so when your parabola opens down, that's going to make your a negative. So that's either going to be a whole number or it's going to be a fraction. Just depends on whether it makes it narrow or wider like it does in number 36. Then you're just going to plug in the vertex. So you're going to have x minus 6 squared plus -4. And then it just simplifies to y equals -x minus 6 squared minus 4. At the top of the next page, number 37. The directions say, use the information provided to write the standard form of the equation of each ellipse. So your standard equation of an ellipse is x minus h quantity squared over a squared plus y minus k squared over b squared equals 1. For number 37, you just want to find the center. So the center is right here at -3, 0. That's going to get plugged in for hk. And then you want to just count how many units it is to each side. So this direction, it's 1, 2, 3, 4 units. And this direction, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units. That's going to get plugged in for your A and your B. So when you go to plug in that information, you're going to have x minus -3 squared over this distance right here, which is 4, and then square it. And then since your k is 0, you're just going to say y minus 0 squared over the units this direction, so 6 squared equals 1. To simplify that, when you have minus minus, it's going to become plus, so x plus 3 quantity squared over 4 squared, which is 16. Y minus 0 is just y, so y squared over 6 squared, which is 36, all equals 1. Number 39 says to identify the center, vertices, and foci of each, because we have a plus right here. That makes this an ellipse. So the center is going to be at the opposite of this number and the opposite of this number, which is -2, -9. And then to get the A and the B, we're going to use the 144 and the 64. So for A squared, we're going to take the square root of 144, which is 12. And then the B squared, we're going to take the square root of 64, which is 8. And that's going to give us, we're going to use that information to get the vertices. So the vertices, we're going to take the center, which is at -2, -9, and we're going to add and subtract 12 from -2. So if we add 12, we're going to end up at 10, -9. And if we subtract 12, we're going to end up at -14, -9. And then to get the foci, we need to use the 144 and the 64. So c squared is going to be equal to a squared minus b squared, which is 144 minus 64. So that's 80. And the square root of 80, you take that and you get the prime factorization. I'm running out of room, so let me add a note card here. So 80, the prime factorization is 2 times 40, which is 2 times 20, which is 2 times 10, which is 2 times 5. And then pairs of 2's, one of them will come out, another pair of 2's, another one will come out. This guy does not have a pair, so it stays under the radical. And we have 4 square roots of 5, and we're going to either add that or subtract that to get our foci. So our foci is going to be at -2 plus the square root, 4 square roots of 5, -9. And the other one will be at -2 minus 4 square roots of 5, -9. And the last one, number 41, says use the information provided to write the standard form of the equation of the hyperbola. So on your note card, you should have that standard equation, and it looks like this. X minus h squared over a squared minus the y minus k squared over b squared equals 1. So we need the center. The center of this one is right at 0, 0, which is nice. And then we need the units here are 2 units. And the units going up is 1, 2, 3. So 3 units that way, 2 units horizontally, 3 units vertically. So we're going to plug in our 0, 0 for h and for k. So we have x minus 0 squared minus the y minus 0 squared. This is all going to be equal to 1. And then for the denominators, we're going to take the 2 units here and square it, and the 3 units here and square it, and then just simplify. So this is going to be x squared over 4 minus y squared over 9, and all that is equal to 1. Thanks for watching.